Welcome class 10 students. Today we will be seeing the fourth poem of your book First Flight, and the name of the poem is How to Tell Wild Animals. It is written by Carolyn Wells. This poem is taken from your First Flight book of your NCERT syllabus. The name of the poem is How to Tell Wild Animals, and it is written by Carolyn Wells. Carolyn Wells, let's see about the poet, was an American writer who was famous for books based on mystery. You know mystery? Khufia, very good. Her famous works are At the Sign of the Sphinx in 1896, The Jingle Book 1899, The Story of Betty of 1899 again, etc. This much was enough for the poet. Now let's see the introduction of the poem. The poem is very funny poem. It is explained about some wild animals, how you can distinguish between different wild animals, and how you can identify various wild animals. She has also used the language, also used the signs of the different animals to make the readers clear about the animals. And the animals discussed in the poem are Asian lion, Bengal tiger, bear, leopard, etc. So let's get started. How to tell wild animal. This is the first stanza of your poem. If you ever should go by chance to the jungles in the east, अगर आप कभी by chance, if you ever go by chance to the jungles in the east, in the eastern countries, and if you are going in the jungles over there, and if there you should to advance, if there by advancing, by moving forward, you find a large and tawny beast, if you are finding a large beast, beast means animals, animal if you are finding, and which color it is, of tawny color it is, the brownish color, and if he roars at you as you are dying means dying, the spelling is kept short to make it rhyming, and if the animal is roaring at you, if the animal is shouting at you, and if you feel like dying, what will happen? You will come to know that it is an Asian lion. Again, how to find out Asian lion? First, if you are going towards where? Jungles in the east. Where you are going? Towards the jungles in the east. And there you are, if advancing, if by going ahead, you are finding a large and tawny beast, or animal of tawn color, and if the animal is roaring at you loudly and you feel like dying, so much you become scared of as you feel like dying, then the animal will be Asian lion. Now let's see the rhyme scheme of this stanza. As you can see, the first line ends with chance, the second east, then advance. Chance and advance are rhyming, east and beast are rhyming, and dian and lion are rhyming. So A, if you keep for the first line, so the first line will be A, the second line will be B, third again A, again B, and then C, C. So AB, C, C is the rhyme scheme of this stanza. That's all about the first stanza. Now the second stanza. Or if sometime when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you with black strips on a yellow ground. Again, if you are roaming around somewhere and there's a noble beast, noble means a respected beast is roaming around somewhere, and the beast is greeting you, welcoming you. If you see that beast with what kind of structure? With black strips on yellow ground. The ground will be black and on it there will be black strips. Just notice if he eats you, and you notice, be careful, the beast can eat you even. So this simple rule will help you to know that the beast is, that the animal is the Bengal tiger. Again see the rhyming scheme. Round, ground is rhyming, you is rhyming, lone and discern is rhyming. So AB, C is the rhyme scheme of this stanza also. So what you have seen about the Bengal tiger, very specifically, about the Bengal tiger, you'll come to know that the Bengal tiger you'll find roaming around somewhere, but that beast will be a very noble beast, and if it greets you with black strips on yellow ground has skin, and on it there are black strips, then it is the Bengal tiger, of course. So now the third one, it's the leopard, as you can see in the picture. If strolling forth the beast you view, whose hide with spot is peppered, as soon as he leapt on you, you will come to know it's the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. He will only lap and lap again. Now, strolling means to walk leisurely. If you are freely walking forward and you can view a beast, you can see a beast whose hide means skin, is covered with spot. It's peppered. Pepper, do you know pepper? Kali mirch. If you sprinkle pepper somewhere, how you will see? You will find black spots. So on this beast also you will find black spots. How you can distinguish? So this beast will be peppered with black spots. So now you found the spot. What is next thing you have to take care of? The beast will leap on you. L-E-A-P, leap. See, the spelling of leap is kept wrong just to make it rhyming. So poets get this license to alter the spelling of the words to make it in a flow, to make it as a poem. So here the spelling is kept wrongly. L-E-A-P is the spelling and it is L-E-P it's kept. So it is called poetic license. Now you have seen the body of this animal will be peppered. Okay, hide will be covered, peppered. Black spots will be there. And that animal will be ready to leap on you, to jump on you. And if you are shouting with pain, it's of no use because this animal will again and again leap on you, will jump on you. So this is how you can distinguish and tell about the leopard. Next is the bear. If you're walking around your yard, means if you're walking in some friendly area, you meet a creature there. There you meet a creature, what sort of? Who hugs you very, very hard. Who is hugging you very, very hard. What will happen? The animal, be sure that the animal will be a bear. What will be the animal? Bear. And if you have any doubt, I guess, you must be having any doubt. Acha, bear will hug me? Yes, if you have any doubt, he will just give you one more caress. You can try. It will give even more stronger hug to you. Caress means even more stronger hug it will give to you. Though to distinguish beast of prey. Now this is about bear. Now next. Though to distinguish beast of prey, distinguish in between this beast of prey in these wild animals, it's very difficult to distinguish in between them. A novice might nonplus. Novice means any beginner, any new person, if it's not knowing, if the person is not knowing about the animal, the novice might nonplus. Novice means nausicaa. Might nonplus means might get confused. Now it's telling how you'll get confused. You know about crocodile. The crocodile you always may tell hyenas from thus, but still, thus you can distinguish between the hyenas and crocodile. How? Hyenas come with merry smile, the cunning smile hyenas will be having. And the crocodile, if they have nothing to do, they will just weep and weep. You must have heard magarmach ki aansu. So, but if they weep, they are crocodile. And if there's a very merry smile, cunning smile is there, merry happy smile is there, it will be a hyena. Next, this is how you distinguish between hyena and crocodile. Now next, chameleon. The true chameleon. Oh, I think many of you must be calling it chameleon. It's not chameleon, it's chameleon to be very specific. The true chameleon is strong. So you must be thinking chameleon is a long like lizard animal. Yes, it's a lizard sort of thing, but it is small one. He hasn't any ears at all. You can see he means here personification to be very specific. Because chameleon is not a person and using he means the poet has done personification. Giving the traits of a person to any animal or insect. So he hasn't any ears at all. Who hasn't ears? The chameleon is not having any ears at all. Not a single wing. There's no wing also to fly. If there's nothing on the tree, and how can you find it? You can never find it. If there's nothing on the tree, this is chameleon, you see. How? Because chameleon changes its color to match with the color of the surrounding. Camouflage. So if you can't see anything, be very sure that there's a chameleon on the tree. So this is a very funny and yet interesting poem written by Carolyn Wells. This is only to tell you about the basic things of the animal and also to make you know about some of the literary devices. So let's see the literary devices. Of course, we have seen the rhyme scheme. There's enjambment. Enjambment means if a line is starting and continuing to the next line without any comma. See, if you see here, if ever you should go by chance to the jungles in the east. So one line is going to the next line, it's continuing and it ends. There's a comma in the next line. So this is called enjambment. Inversion is there. Change is the format of the sentence. See, the subject is kept afterwards. So there is inversion also. The pattern of the sentence is changed. Of course, the pattern is subject, verb, object. But here the pattern is changed. Assonance, the repetition of a vowel sound. Assonance, O is repeated. Thereafter, allusion. If allusion means if we refer to the very specific thing from our surrounding. For example, Asian lion. Specific. If we write Taj Mahal in the poem, it's also allusion. Next stanza, rhyming scheme we have seen, inversion we have seen. Of course, now in all the stanza, you have to pause the video, take the poem and find all the literary devices. Of course, I have mentioned here. You can see also. The summary also is written over here. You can refer to it. That's all about this poem. I hope you might have understood. If not, there will be an explanation in Hindi also. So go watch it. Thank you.